Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. We got another body cam. Today we got husband discovers his wife is a mass killer. What? That's crazy.
Facts, like
it's real, like literally. What the woman was it last year? She made that.
Who did I marry?
Yeah, was that last year?
Something like that. I think
it was last year. Who did I marry? Literally, it's a who did I marry type of situation. That is crazy, bro. Oh Lord. With that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
like it with a thumbs up.
But hey, man, let's hop into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Lori Vallow Daybell is a former beauty contestant.
She's lost her mind. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a god.
Anybody you spoke to who knew Lori back then said that she was like the mother of the year.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others? Threaten me, murder me, kill me.
We're gathering together as saints, as brothers and sisters, and preparing for the second coming of Christ.
She threatened to murder you? Yes.
6 months later, Vallow was shot and killed.
Police say they found a man with gunshot wound who was later pronounced dead.
The first death that kicked off this multi-state mystery.
Inside is Lori Vallow's husband, dead on the living room floor.
Wow.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
So how does she pose a threat to your children?
Lori, where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
Now, Lori Daybell appears to be somebody else. She has 2 missing children, JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan.
I don't know what she's going to do with them. I don't know if she's going to flee with them. She's going to hurt them.
All right. Is it this house or the one with the flashing lights?
Right there.
Oh, is this that woman that I think we know about this?
You may, I don't.
We do.
Right now, I don't.
Car's all gone.
10 minutes from now. Oh,
that's why I said right now I don't, but it may come to me later.
Well, get in. Oh my God.
Oh, jeez.
It all started on January 31st, 2019, when Charles Vallow was still alive and had just returned from a business trip to find he was locked out of his own house, with no sign of his wife, Lori, or his kids, JJ and Tylee. His car had also gone missing, and a large sum of cash had been withdrawn from his bank account. So in an effort to get some answers, he called 911.
So what's going on tonight?
I can't get in touch with my kids.
How old are your kids?
6.5 and 16. She's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a god, and remember the 144,000. Jesus is coming next year.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others?
Threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Is this just all recent, or has it been going on?
Been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's gotten really, really bad lately. She goes to the temple every day and speaks with Moroni and Jesus Christ. Last couple of days, she says, "I'm not Charles. You're not Charles. You're Nick Schneider."
According to Lori, Nick Schneider is an evil spirit who has possessed Charles' body, and he believed these threats against his life were very real. In the last few years, she had become obsessed with the teachings of a man named Chad Daybell, a man well known for writing dogmatically and teaching his thoughts about the end of days, the second coming of Christ, and other more unique concepts like evil spirits and zombies. Both Chad and Lori were also members of Preparing a People, Gospel, a cult who were preparing for the second coming of Jesus Christ and the end of the world as we know it. Lori also believed she was a member of the 144,000, a group of high priests who will administer the everlasting gospel to the world in its last days. She also believed that every human was on a scale between light and dark, and the darker one's spirit was, the more dangerous they were to her and her beliefs. Lori had actually become so involved in this new religious belief that Charles had become concerned not only for himself, but his 2 children as well.
She said to me, Charles' stuff is gone. You're not Charles, your stuff is gone. I don't know what that means.
And how long have you been trying to get in touch with the kids?
Since yesterday.
So how does she pose a threat to your children?
I don't know what she's going to do with them. I don't know if she's going to flee with them. She's going to hurt them. And today she said, come take the kids. I don't care what happens to them. I just want to see my boys okay, and she's got a pickup order.
A pickup order can be obtained after one parent fails to deliver a child to another parent. As Charles has not heard from his kids in days, he felt he had no choice but to take action. The cops then helped Charles get back in the house, but it was too late, as Lori and the kids were gone. The very next morning, Charles called 911 again, this time directing them to a hotel in Gilbert, Arizona, where he believed Lori was hiding out with JJ and Ty Lee. This time, though, Charles had managed to obtain an emergency mental health petition, a note that would require Lori to check into a mental health institution and undergo assessment.
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here, or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a break from me. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Snyder. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're murdered today or tomorrow.
Charles had already tried to find Lori earlier that morning by turning up at JJ's school, but despite seeing her car in the parking lot, there was no sign of her at all. However, she had left her purse in the car, so Charles took it in hopes that it would stop her from getting away. This worked perfectly, as she walked into the Gilbert police station later this same morning to report her missing purse. But her version of events was much different.
So this morning when I took my son to school, like he was waiting somewhere and stole my purse out of the car, my whole purse. So my phone, my wallet, my money, my everything was in there.
What is it like that motivates him doing this kind of stuff? Did he say why?
I caught him cheating and I had evidence and I told him about it, and he travels a lot for business, so I told him about it and told him not to come home and that his stuff would be gone and that his car would be gone and all this thing.
So now you have first admitted to theft. Because that's still theft.
Mm-hmm.
I told him not to come home and his stuff would be gone. Bro, you can't do that. If it's mine, I don't care what you can't destroy my property. There's still... Remember old girl I used to work with did that to her dude?
Oh, yeah.
Then we look and see her ass on the mugshot. So crazy. Because you cannot destroy somebody else's property. I don't care if y'all live together. I don't care if it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, fiance. You cannot destroy somebody else's property.
Yeah, true.
Like, you cannot take somebody else's car just because it's your husband. Mm-hmm. If it's in his name, it is his belongings. You cannot access his account and just take $35,000. That is illegal.
True.
And then you want to go to the police station because he took your purse. Shorty, you done did worse.
So he's a little mad.
She claimed that she'd caught Charles having an affair and told him not to come home, locking him out of the house and taking his car.
So who's the other person with her?
I don't know. Is it one of the kids?
I don't know. Let's see.
The first of many carefully fabricated lies that would not only ruin Charles's life, but end it. Police informed Charles that he can't steal Lori's property no matter what the motive. A deal was then formed between them saying that if Charles returned her purse, then the police would immediately follow up with the mental health petition. But eventually it went through, and Lori underwent her assessment. However, in 2 hours, Lori was released with the doctors finding no issues at all. This decision sentenced Charles to death and put his kids' lives in jeopardy. Charles filed for divorce, and 6 months later, his body was found at Lori's house with 2 gunshot wounds across his body. The fate of his children was now in the hands of their delusional and dangerous mother.
Hey team, we got one subject down, apparent gunshot wounds to the chest. He's right here in the living room. Firearm's gonna...
but end it. Police informed Charles that he can't steal Lori's property.
Again, it happened again.
Yes.
6 months later, his body was found at Lori's house with 2 gunshot wounds across his body. The fate of his children was now in the hands of their delusional and dangerous mother.
Hey, team, we got one subject down, apparent gunshot wounds to the chest. He's right here in the living room. Firearm's gonna be in the front door, in the front bedroom, laying on the ground next to a case. You wanna stay in here? I'll see if I get this guy's info.
When Charles's body was found, an investigation determined the shooter to be Alex Cox, a man who just so happened to be the brother of Lori Vallow.
What's going on? What happened?
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay, is his son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came, how long, what time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay, so you know who he is, let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier than she left.
But what gives him the reason to come at you with a bat?
If he just coming to pick up, like something, some is missing. Something else happened. Or unless he's covering it up for, you know.
And then y'all got into it, and then you did something to him. Then now he comes with you with a bat, and which is inside your home, which you feel as though gives you legal right to kill him.
Or you trying to take the fault for your sister, and they already have a history in the system. So if the sister, you know, if she was, they automatically like, oh, because you already been threatened to like
kill
take his, you know. So I don't know. We'll see.
And then he got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know. He was...
Alex seems very vague in his answers and says he can't remember exactly what happened, other than the pair simply got into a fight. But those kinds of answers aren't going to satisfy the cops, especially when there's a dead man involved.
So you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did. This was before.
So before your sister and your niece left,
yeah.
At some point your sister and her husband are arguing.
Yes.
Verbal argument. And then your niece pulls out a bat?
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and then he took it away.
Okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he still got the bat in his alley. What are you doing?
And where are you at it? Where are you both
in the
at?
living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. I went to my room and got my gun.
So you went to your room, meaning the room you're staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
You always bring a gun? Okay, why did you stay just in your bedroom, close the door? Is that something you didn't think about, or?
It didn't occur to me.
This final statement should actually have torn down Alex's entire argument, as it technically proves this wasn't self-defense at all.
Not at all.
Exactly. So self-defense, because you have now removals, and that's the reason why people feel they always, if you in my house, bro, remember, like, we've seen cases like this where people automatically just assume that if you in our house and I feel like you a threat, I can shoot you down. And I'll be telling people, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that.
Not if you walked away from the situation. You went into a room where you could have enclosed.
Not even the fact that you walked away. You had an opportunity to get away from the threat.
You got away from the situation by going in the room. He didn't follow you in the room.
He didn't follow you.
You went in. You went in there. You could have got the phone. You could, like he said, you could have shut the door, locked the door, stayed in the room, called authorities. But you took it upon yourself you made the decision to get a gun. And who's to say that you didn't already have a gun on you? But anyway, you went and got a gun and came back into the chaos.
And that's first degree. Premeditated.
You have made up in your mind that I am going to harm you or take your life, whatever the case may be. When you if that is the case, we don't even know if that's the story.
Because the cops already kind of insinuate that the story
it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And now he has to rearrange, and hopefully your story matches somebody else's story. But 9 times out of 10, your story already kind of sound a little fishy. It ain't the true story.
Yeah.
When Alex went to his room to grab his gun, he should have been able to usher his family inside, close the door, and stand his ground from there. Instead, he grabbed his gun and, without a second thought, ran straight up to Charles and shot him. But at this point, there were still so many looming questions.
Well, you get hit in the back of the head because like if he really was a threat, you would have been busted up in the back of the head.
Especially with a bat, like so.
What type of bat? If it's a wooden or
is it a?
If it was a wooden or a metal bat, it would have actually did damage if he was really trying. Because you would have bleeding, it would have been swole. Or was it one of them little
plastic ones?
The little plastic. I was trying to the
little T-ball. I mean not T-ball, but the little
joint you get.
What is the little T-ball with the kids? But the plastic one. I can't think.
The company name.
Oh.
Is it Hills? Something like that.
The cops decided to bring in all parties back for an interrogation to try and get to the bottom of it all and figure out exactly what happened to Charles.
Start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we were in Houston. We had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. He came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's obviously.
You see how she tried to make him as an evil person already?
Because he don't care about the other child because we adopted him. That's his great nephew, but he don't really care about him. He care more about the son we had together. Like, it doesn't, like, bro. He does. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? But, okay.
Threats on my phone all the time, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me...
What kind of threats?
He's always mad at me, right here. And he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him. So that's just how it is. So we married for 14 years, we dealt with it for 14 years, and him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in...
It's already can tell that it's not a true story.
Also, Tylee is... Oh.
I don't know. I'm getting a little confused on some of the stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
He tried with her. A lot of things. But anyway.
Immediately, Lori describes Charles as a man with violent tendencies who had a history of aggression against the women he had married. If she can convince detectives that Charles had a temper, it would make their version of events even more plausible.
So he went back to the Houston house, and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm going to come pick up JJ and take him to school Thursday. Pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house. And I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor and she has to live here.
Yeah.
So because he gets in huge fights with her.
Okay.
And she hates him. And so like, you can't stay at the house. So I will book you a hotel because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business and the business pays for it.
What does he do?
He works with teachers and their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school. He mostly works in California.
Okay.
He has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes.
He does some enough where he can pay for his house, your house. He got money where it doesn't seem as though she works. So and why Houston? Why would I? That's a lot, bro. Were y'all supposed to be relocating? Because how?
Wherever. It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs. Yeah. It's like an excuse, right? We came over in the morning and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, And then JJ was like, oh.
She is trying to manipulate
she's a manipulator.
The
also
detective, because she's speaking from a woman's
right, and also from the lack of like emotion. Like, I understand at the end of the day y'all were going through stuff and everybody did whatever with their emotions differently, but my thing is still he is deceased, you know what I'm saying, and you still painting him to be out this like
horrible monster.
He was this evil person and such and such hated him, he was abusive, he was da-da-da, and like I get you whatever you trying to tell.
She's trying to use like go on the emotion thing because it's another woman. But it's on a detective end, I need to throw away my women's emotions, and I need to be able to put on my detective blinders and not pay attention to the emotional side as a woman, but try to look at the holes of the story. And hopefully she do.
I'm like, oh great, here we go, And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Dad, can just drive you to school. It's no big deal. Just trying to make it whatever.
Trying to make it look like kids don't like him.
And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
But your brother lives there with you?
No.
Okay.
He had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and cause trouble with me.
Okay.
Just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother.
They would claim self-defense as the reason Charles was killed. And as the cops continue to question Lori, they start to believe this even more.
He goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tyler and I have had to leave with JJ over the years, probably 5 times, and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ, and he's special needs, and it's really hard. Like, it's even harder to take care of by yourself.
So you thought, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you?
Absolutely. He was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like, he was going, like, ballistic about it. Was bad.
Okay.
An angry husband losing his temper during a divorce is not uncommon, and feuding couples often come to blows, making her story more and more convincing. But according to Charles's ex-wife Cheryl, this was not the man she knew. She says they were married and divorced, and not one time, not 1 second, was he ever physically threatening to me, directly contradicting what Lori is saying.
You say he goes nuts. That means.
But I will say every situation, every relationship is different. Some people bring other things out of people that somebody else can bring out of. So we don't, you know?
That can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So, physical violence.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us and pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical.
Okay.
He went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them.
So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there and he was screaming at me. And so Tylee came out of her room upset and she had a bat. And she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really, whatever. And he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, blah, blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there. And so he came out into the main room and he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he, like, grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to, like, hit Tylee with the bat. It was... And I was right there, they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee. They got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever. And then,
and he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff?
Yes.
But there are...
There go the story right there. Already misinformation amongst the story, right?
The brother never mentioned like that they actually had like a little tussle, you know,
and
or that he came up and grabbed.
Aggressor. That's the brother was the aggressor because you came out and put your hands on him.
I don't.
It doesn't work like that. Like legally, it doesn't work like that.
Lingering questions left by the investigation. One such example being that the autopsy ruled one of the gunshots impacted while Charles was on the ground. Imagine being in a situation where you have no choice but to shoot someone. You'd probably freeze up, and you'd do anything you could to avoid anything but incapacitating them, instead of finishing the job. So it seems strange that Alex decided to shoot Charles a second time when he was already flat on the ground. Furthermore, it also seems strange that it would take almost 45 minutes for anyone to call 911.
45 minutes?
Because he wasn't deceased.
Y'all
waited till he died.
Y'all waited for him. That's what it sounds like.
So they won't be able to...
get y'all's story together.
Oh, they also got the story. That does give them... My bad.
I'm like, why am I stuck?
It does give them time to get the story together. That's the reason why they story match.
I don't know.
Because where's the bet?
They probably it may come up.
It just made me think. I want to get. I had a little small wooden bat as a kid. I want to get one of those again. It's just a little small toy wooden bat.
Although she claims it was down to shock, this is conveniently just enough time to concoct an alternative version of events and a solid story to give to the police.
Okay, so you hear the argument. You step out. What's the first thing that you see?
Charles chasing after Lori.
Okay. Had Tyler already gotten the bat? Did he already have the bat? Okay. No. So Charles is coming towards Lori.
He's coming towards Lori, and I shoved him back.
Okay.
I said, "What are you doing?" Because he's coming at her aggressively.
Okay.
He's a big dude, so I wasn't gonna.
So he's coming at her.
Yeah.
And you shoved him back.
Yeah.
What happened right after that?
So I went into the bedroom where I was staying, grabbed my down. I came back. I said, "Put that bat down." He's like, "What are you gonna do?" So you're gonna threaten me? I was like, "No, I'm just gonna defend myself. So you put that bat down." And he goes, "What are you gonna do it like that?" And he came at me.
Okay.
And you know.
Now y'all stories don't even match. Because she says you came out and put him in a headlock. So there was not even a conversation between y'all two. You came out and automatically.
And it don't even seem like it was that much time in between for you to feel threatened before you went and got your gun, is what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think he even went and got the gun. I think
it
the gun was already
in, yeah.
Already hit me in the head.
So you gave him, how many times would you say you told him to, like, put the bat down?
Once.
Once? Okay. And then he started advancing towards you?
Yes.
How many shots did you fire?
I don't know, with the couple.
One of Lori's friends later reported that Lori had said Alex believed her theories about Charles being possessed by evil, and the reason he was at the house at the time of death is simple. He believed Charles was going to try and kill Lori and moved in with her to help keep her safe.
I didn't see the shot, I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And was freaking out. Yeah. And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mom mode. I'm like, I've got to go to the kids. To school, I've got to get to the kids. I got to get to the kids. Mm-hmm. And so I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened. And I told her to get in the car and we're going to take JJ to school. Mm-hmm. And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like, it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was going to come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school.
Okay.
And call the police and come back, you know.
Did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, "Are you taking JJ to school?"
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Yeah, we need to call the police." And he said, "Okay."
Okay. So you...
shouldn't nobody have to take, like, that's a no-brainer. Like,
why are we having a conversation about somebody, like, there's literally the kid's father, your husband,
because y'all not divorced yet,
is on the ground fighting for his life,
and y'all worried about
who's going to
call. I gotta get JJ to school. Da 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 da. Like, his daddy literally on the ground
because they don't care.
Like, make it make sense.
Neither one of y'all.
And it took y'all 45 minutes. What, did the brother wait? Well, no, obviously he didn't wait till she came back because she wasn't there.
He probably waited till you got to the school trying to see, well, we'll use that as an alibi.
As a thing, because he was like, no, she was already.
And I can say he came over here to assault, and we got into it.
Because remember he said that he came over to pick up JJ to take him to school, but they were already gone. Do you remember, or did I make that up myself? But anyway, you can go.
He called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right, because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, what do I do?
It looks on the surface that an enraged Charles stormed the house and started shouting at Lori. Alex decided to intervene, fearing for his sister's life, but what started as a disagreement quickly turned into a fight, one that would end with Charles lying cold on the ground. Mm-hmm. And Tylee seems to back up what Lori and Alex said when she tells her version of events.
I opened the door, and it was my stepdad, and he was just screaming at both of them, and so I just kind of stuck the baseball bat out there, and then he just grabbed it, and so I fell to the ground.
Hold on. Cause then she said this is his what?
I don't know.
No. She said it's his.
I've been confused about who.
But you call her your stepdad, but you call her your mother, but it's your somebody biologically related to you, so you would. Yo, y'all be manipulating these kids too, bro. Like, let's be real.
Unless, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. Unless JJ is what you're talking about. JJ is the great nephew that he calls. I'm not about to trip on that because I've kind of been confused about the relationship and stuff as far as like who the kids are and
yeah, he'll have a more. He probably would. So let's say this: if Tylee is her daughter, right, and she has her own dad, don't know what relationship she has with her dad or if she has one or not, and so she's gonna automatically side with her mom over her stepdad. That's just logical thinking, right? So any disagreement that your mom and stepdad does have, you're gonna automatically choose
your mom.
Your mom is with him because we haven't seen or heard 1 ounce of her going to a job.
Yeah,
we haven't. So your mom gonna do whatever it takes to. Yeah, she gonna continue to go back because she can't leave and do anything for her damn self.
Yeah,
he taking care of them, take care of all y'all. And he's automatically gonna have a stronger bond with someone that's blood related to him than the stepdaughter, especially if you were one of them distant stepkids. Like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to afterwards. I'm gonna have to go just for myself. Go back and like listen to like
see like the relations and correlations.
Because I kind of missed that. I guess
maybe somebody know more and be able to let us know in the comments as well. So if you do, let us know in the comments.
And then my uncle kind of like, I saw him take a step back, so my uncle, I think, grabbed him and kind of took him back so he couldn't like do anything. And so my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there, and then eventually...
You know one thing that's different from her story?
From whose story?
Her story?
And who?
In the two adults.
What?
She answered the door. They never said she answered the door. The uncle said she was in her room. And she came out with the bat. She never even mentioned a bat. She said they got into an argument, and that's when what she just said. She said they got into an argument, and that's when the uncle came out and they told her to leave. So there was never a bat involved. Y'all had to say he had a weapon, and it made y'all feel as though he was a threat because he had a weapon, which was the bat.
Yeah.
Him and kind of took him back so he couldn't like do anything. And so my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there, and then eventually my mom came out, and then I heard a noise, which I know what it was now, but it sounded like someone like took it and hit it really hard against the floor. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that like my stepdad didn't do anything to my uncle and stuff. And so she was like, no, like I was fine, like we're just gonna take JJ to school. And I was like, okay.
Despite Charles's lack of a violent history and how many times Alex nearly slipped up on scene, Lori's story coupled with Tylee's perspective was enough for detectives to officially rule this as self-defense.
No.
Hold on.
Death of Charles Vallow was just the tip of the iceberg, and investigators quickly discovered that Lori had become entangled in the world of a seedy cult that would turn this seemingly perfect mom into a stone-cold killer.
They ain't listened to the damn evidence. That little girl never even said anything about a bat. And she said, if you listen to what she said she ran outside. She said that's when she heard something that sounded like a loud, like somebody banged something. They had already tackled and put him on the ground. That's when the uncle decided to let off the shots. That man was not a threat at all. They plotted to... her brother plotted to kill that man. She had master manipulated her own brother to kill her husband. Is that not some sick ass shit?
Facts. But they dropped the ball a lot when it comes to, certain situations.
That's sad, bro. Y'all failed to even pay attention. You know what? Y'all only cooperated the brother and sister story. Yeah, they had a tight alibi. They waited 45 fucking minutes to call the police because they waited till he died. Because we can't call the police right when we shoot him, just in case he survives and be able to tell a different story.
Y'all his story, his side, and then y'all piece things together.
Horrible ass detective. She got y'all dumbasses.
Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
I didn't know about
just
the
tell
first
people
part. I
what's
know about
happening.
this.
There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
Just days after Charles's death, Lori decided it was time for a change and moved the entire family across the country to Rexburg, Idaho. A strange choice at first, until you realize that this was the hometown of Chad Daybell, and Lori was now living minutes away from a man who had not only convinced her that her husband was evil, but was now beginning to spin the same evil stories for her kids as well.
Shut up.
But this is when detectives met Melanie, Lori's best friend and another member of her cult. She was there to spill all the sordid details on their ideology and the
Wow.
I wonder, did she get involved into the group through the friend?
Through Lori.
Yeah, no.
Or did Lori get involved through Melanie?
Through Melanie, because they best friends. How long have they been friends as well?
True. And also, I did know about that part as far as, hey, where are your kids? They've been missing for 4 months. I knew about that
and
clip.
You know about her,
but
too.
I didn't know about the story with the husband and the
Yeah.
brother, and I didn't know about all that.
No, we didn't. Neither one of us.
No, that's why I was
But
like,
I know about her.
Okay, yeah.
I know about her and the missing
And
children.
then, and the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were close.
cult. She was there to spill all the sordid details on their ideology and the beliefs that could soon lead to the death of Lori's kids.
Chad had said that it's some childhood friend that Charles had, and that he died, and then he came back as he didn't ever leave. He was an unclean spirit that got trapped on the earth, and he was now attached to him for years, and he'd been studying him, right, and his behaviors and stuff like that. And so then he pushed his spirit out of the body and took over. That's what he said.
Push Chad, Charles' spirit.
Yeah, so his spirit has now moved on. So she believed that Charles was gone. He was already gone. So she was treating him like he was Sex Spider.
This is all extremely confusing, but simultaneously eye-opening, as it gives us a direct window into what Lori believed about her own family. Apparently, she thought Charles was possessed by a dark spirit, and by that point, he was already gone. The problem is, she thought the same for her children. Charles had corrupted them, and they'd turn into zombies.
So you mentioned zombies.
Yeah.
Was that ever a term that you were exposed to by them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me more about the zombie.
She said she had a dream once, an earthquake happened in Utah. People that fell on the earth, if they were able to get rid of all the zombies in the world, then those zombies wouldn't get into those dead bodies and come back. I remember one time she took a map and she's like, okay, here's the United States. We're going to do a prayer. Let's find out how many zombies are in Arizona. Okay, there's 20,000. I don't even remember the numbers, it was saw out there. And then she'd say a little prayer, whatever words she'd come up with that she thought were powerful. And then he would check, oh, somebody died. Look, you can come find out. So then that was her way. In my opinion, what I saw, at least, was just through a prayer that these people would pass away.
Lori believed that if the earth was to truly be pure, all the zombies had to be killed. Chad also began to feed Lori more and more fantastical lies about how the world worked, including ascension, translation, and the ability to meet with God himself.
And then they had a scale of 0 to 100% how much you could trust people. I was supposed to be like 97%. They were always building me up. Anyway, she would sometimes share like, oh, this person or that person that's not trustworthy, it's this person. That was their booking.
More about, maybe you know or don't know, vibrations.
So vibrations, yes, I'm aware of that too. So according to how he would check, he used that little pendulum thing on. I didn't know that in the beginning, but anyway, 1,000 was supposed to mean, if you got to 1,000, that means you're translated. Or you're beginning your translation. And then as you get higher in your vibration, you could portal at some point, maybe, I'm trying to remember what she would say, 2,500 maybe, or something like that. And so the more you went to the temple, your vibration would increase. So it's just like your light would increase, your vibration, that kind of idea. Okay. If that makes sense.
Lori had become convinced she could speak to Jesus and appeared to be consumed by Chad's work. Not long after, their relationship began to heat up, and they even started a religious podcast together that showed, frankly, just how insane she had become.
I too have seen the resurrected Jesus Christ, and he has told me my mission, and he has sent me to help people and lift them in their missions.
Over time, Lori had become more outspoken with her beliefs of zombies and began to tell her friends about how many people had been consumed by evil spirits and demons. Lori then started telling her friends that her son JJ's behavior had changed, and that he had started telling her he loved Satan, as well as becoming more disruptive in the home. Had police listened to Charles Vallow when he feared for JJ and Tylee's lives, then they could have prevented the series of tragic events that followed. Only days after moving to Rexburg, Lori, Alex, JJ, and Tylee visited Yellowstone Park. This was the last time anyone saw Tylee alive. Things became even stranger on September 17th, 2019.
Your own mother, the one you vouched for, that killed the guy that was providing for y'all.
And not only just that, the fact that you made Charles make him look like he just hated her so much. Like he just hated her.
But also the daughter kind of
yeah, in a sense like that, because when someone is brainwashing you and manipulating you into thinking one thing, like, she's a child, regardless if she's a teenager. I'm going to whatever my mom say. My mom said dad is this, or my mom said dad is that.
Wrong, bro.
Yeah, true, but everybody's not you though. Some people are weaker than others.
My mom used to tell me certain things. I'm like, I ain't finna say that, bro. It's right.
Tell you what?
Let me just say certain things as a kid, and I'm like, I'll tell her, like, you want me to lie? It ain't lying. It's just, you want me to lie? I was one of them kids.
No, I'm just kidding.
You ain't never told your mama this?
My mama ain't never told me to do nothing. The only thing my mama ever tell them you 7 or you 6 going to a restaurant. Oh yeah, I am, because I'm about to eat good. Yes, I am. That's nothing.
When JJ was spotted running into his Idaho home on a neighbor's door cam, never to be seen again. Months later, people started to realize that they hadn't heard from JJ in a long time, and Charles' parents called 911 to alert the police of his disappearance. Lori was caught lying to officers on November 26th after they had made a welfare check on JJ. According to Lori, her son was with her friend Melanie back in Arizona, but Melanie not only denied having him, but she also told police Lori had asked her to lie and pretend to officers JJ was staying with her. Then, in December, Alex died suddenly. His death was ruled as natural causes, but the amount of death and strange occurrences involving Lori was...
That's the brother, right? No. Am I tripping? Hold on.
At this point, I don't fucking know.
Hold on. I just... It'll be kind of right here, won't it? Oh, it'll be before that when he was on the curb.
I don't know.
Alex Cox.
That's crazy.
And okay, autopsy reports suggest he had a blood clot ridge from the
ruled as natural causes, but the amount of death and strange occurrences involving Lori was reaching impossible levels of coincidence. By this time, police were also extremely concerned for the welfare of JJ and Tylee, so Lori was served an order in January 2020, forcing her to prove that they are safe and well. However, the deadline came and went, and Lori was arrested 3 weeks later and placed on a bail of $5 million. But even after the arrest, both...
So it is the brother.
Yeah, her brother.
So you turned around and also killed your brother.
Well...
Possibly,
but from the autopsy, it was a blood clot.
But that's really a coincidence. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these people dying, now your brother dead.
Because when you look it up, it also says from cause of death from a blood clot. So that's what they ruled it as, blood clot.
Can you make somebody have a blood clot? Make it appear. Can you give somebody something to make it appear that they...
Well...
I'm sure you could. I don't know.
And placed on a bail of $5 million. But even after the arrest, both Lori and Chad remained silent and refused to give up any information on the kids. But finally, a further 5 months later, the police would get their answers when detectives initiated a search of Chad Daybell's property. There, they found the bodies of JJ and Tylee. JJ's body was found wrapped in duct tape and placed in a plastic bag, while Tylee had been dismembered and burned in a fire pit before being buried. Police arrested Chad immediately, and Lori's trial began not long after. It took another 3 years.
Ooh, life was
Chad immediately, and Lori's...
Life was getting at her ass.
She's so like emotionalist to me.
Life was
it's so
her
crazy.
Ass. So look at her compared to when she was with Charles.
Saw them demons.
Charles had you upkeep. You were looking better. You were living this, and then you mad because he out here doing his job. Yeah, I might have to travel for my job, but you at the house. Somebody, yeah, he do anything not to take care of the kids, huh? Bitch, you ain't working. You a stay-at-home mom.
And you talking about him cheating, which I don't know what was going on, but in that case, but you and Chad was pretty close. You feel me? Yeah.
That's one thing. The ones in that they be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about that though,
but okay, let's. And you took your kid's life.
Starting off with the daughter that vouched your story. I still believe she killed Charles though.
Trial began not long after. It took another 3 years, but eventually she was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and grand theft over the deaths of her children. Lori was far from remorseful in a bizarre statement she made to the court after she was sentenced.
My beautiful children, Tylee Ashlyn and Joshua Jackson, rest safely this day in the arms of Jesus, and I look forward to the day when we are all reunited, and I too will rest with them in the arms of my Jesus.
Thankfully, this evil mother, if you can even call her that anymore, won't be getting out anytime soon, as she was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences. She's not finished in the courtroom yet, though, as her trial for murdering Charles is set to start in April 2024.
Come on.
As of March 2024, Chad Daybell is yet to go to trial, but he could be facing a similar conviction and a lifetime behind bars.
He better.
You know another thing?
What?
Those detectives need to be fired for ruling that as a
self-defense.
As self-defense, because everybody in their mama
y'all let her sit there with her little legs crossed in that chair and manipulate y'all.
That's why I said the detective, she was pulling on a heartstring as on a woman-to-woman conversation. She tried to have a woman-to-woman.
And the same woman interviewed everybody except for the man interviewed the brother, Alex.
She was trying to do a woman-to-woman conversation. You have to learn how to turn that off. And this is my job. Yeah, I might have sympathy for you, but I have to fucking do my job. This is not a domestic case. We ain't talking about that. We trying to find out what happened to your husband. And you show no remorse.
None.
You have to look at that shit, bro.
Not from the husband situation.
Because even if it is an abusive relationship, I've seen people who still, if it was a murder that was an accident or something. I've seen people who that was in an abusive marriage relationship have killed the person because they was in such an abusive relationship and still had remorse and cried. But they said they had to do what they had to do to make sure it was either me or them. And I did not want to do that to them, but they would not stop.
Yeah.
And they still show remorse. She didn't drop a single tear. That showed me you didn't love this man. You didn't care for him. It was all unselfish.
She didn't even show.
How the fuck they still rule at it? Fire their ass. Fire their ass. Cause I'll say this. If they showed up to the scene of crime and I need their help, I know for a fact they ain't gonna help me. Like, y'all incompetent. God dang, see how many pieces of paper you
Mind your business. You all over here.
Y'all, only if y'all can
When
see.
did this happen? What year did this happen?
2019 when it first started.
You said what?
2019 when Charles died.
2019. I just need to see if he don't went to court.
She got convicted.
Chad. I'm talking about Chad. Oh.
She just recently got convicted. He should be convicted.
I need to know what's going on with him because, yeah. I wonder, is anybody like with situations like this, since he was the leader of the cult, do somebody step up since he locked up and y'all keep it going?
Typically.
Oh, y'all crazy. I never understand. Like, I know people that's been in. I know people that's
all mentally
challenged.
I know
people that have been in cults and stuff.
We do.
But I just really be
they
like,
slow.
I'm really trying to still.
Weak.
I'm really still trying to like just figure out like how like I'm trying not to be insensitive about it because I understand that everybody's situations. You don't said no. I understand everybody's situation. Yes, you have, babe. I understand everybody's situations are different, and some people don't have anyone. They may have lost a loved one, or
they have been in a
they may have lost. Yeah, no, they may have lost a loved one or something, or maybe dealing with something, or just struggling with. Everybody has different battles and stuff, and deal with different demons and stuff like that, right? So I'm trying not to be insensitive, but I'd be like, damn, like how, like.
But a lot of them do say it'd be a weak point of their life.
Yeah, and I hate that because people can just like smell that on you and they prey on that, and I hate that for people. I really do hate that for people, and some people never come up out of it. But kudos to the ones that do and build that strength to be like, okay, I have to walk away. Like something's not right.
Because people have come in and said, I was a part of one at one point, or my family had me part of one. So I do take back, not everybody, because some people are born into it.
Yeah, that's different. And that's totally different.
But the ones that just voluntarily and do some shit like this, you slow. You beyond slow in my eyes. You need help.
But yeah.
And he even tried to get her help. He tried to get her help.
But rest in peace to Charles, and rest in peace to Tylee and JJ.
JJ. You gonna say rest in peace to the brother?
Oh, because them kids did not. The kids didn't deserve that. What you did, and Charles didn't deserve that. Whatever the case may be. Rest in peace to everyone. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Because he got away with it.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not a insensitive person. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, moving on.
Hey, y'all spit more stuff in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C. Peace.
Let me watch out for my partners.